Hey YouTube, it's Rebecca, and I'm back with the next chapter from Game of Thrones called Jon. Jon is up north and he's at the Wall, which separates sort of like the England part of the Seven Kingdoms from like the Scotland part. Because the Scotland part's infested by creepy ice zombies. Anyway, so that's where our chapter starts. We're at the Wall, and Jon is training to learn how to fight the creepy ice zombies. And he beats the absolute crap out of this boy. This boy's like fighting him, and he like practically breaks his wrist. He's like, get away from me. And the guy in charge of the training calls him Lord Snow, which is basically an extremely rude name. It's like bastard. He's like, what you doing, bastard? Lord, because he acts like he's better than everybody else. Because he's like Prince Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's like, he's whining and being emo all the time. It's like Zuko from season 1. He's just like being so whiny all the time. Because he's like, Lord Eddard Stark is my father, and they're like, you're not a lordling, you're a bastard. Learn to live with it. And so Lord Snow just like gets under his skin, and he's like, you're basically calling my mother a prostitute there. Please don't do that. Yeah, so Jon beats all the other boys. He's better than all of them. And so he has this sort of like righteous anger sort of, he's angsting a lot. It's just an angst fest. He's like, I'm better than all of them. I don't need to be here. Ugh. Yeah, that's him. That's what he's doing. His uncle left. He came with him. The guy who his wristy like almost broke is super mad. And Jon's extremely impertinent, and they start fighting. And this guy, Noye? N-O-Y-E? I'm gonna go with Noy. Interrupts the fight. He's like, break it up, okay. And Noy is like, stop fighting them. We need every man we can get, even losers and rapers. Which brings me to a point about rapers. I'm putting like a pin on my other story. Sometimes fantasy novels are different to be different, not different for a purpose. And this book has a lot of different to be different, like just because we're in a different world, it has to be different. Like the Sir instead of Sir, and Sansa's sort of like lady who's like keeping track of her had a weird name. And now this whole raper instead of rapist, it's just weird. I don't like it, you know, but that's me. Anyway, so Noah basically tells him, like, look, I don't care if your mother is a whore or is not a whore. No matter what I say, she's still gonna be the same person she is, so you really need to, like, get over yourself. Which is, like, this great way of saying words will never hurt me. Because they do. Which is the fun part about words, they do. But they can't change anything. If I'm calling you stupid and you're not stupid, I'm not gonna make you stupid by saying it. I don't create reality by talking. Anyway. And then, basically, Tyrion comes up and he's like, how are you doing, Lord Snow? And Jon's like, stop calling me that! And he's like, would you rather be called the Imp? Which is like the best line ever. So, he's like, you gotta own your name. They're making fun of you with it. Own it, turn it into your armor. I'm Lord Snow, get over it. You know, get a chip on your shoulder. And Jon's like, you're stupid and annoying. And so then he leaves that conversation and he goes and talks to the blacksmith. And what happens there? The blacksmith explains why all the boys hate him. He's like, look, you come up, you're younger than them. You haven't been here as long as they have, and you're really, really annoying, and you beat the crap out of them. They're really embarrassed, so how do you feel when you beat them? He's like, I'm proud, because I'm littler than them, and he's like, you've also been classically trained most of your life. What can I say? This is their first time with a real swordsmaster and a real sword or whatever. And Jon basically goes, oh, now I feel like an asshole. And they're like, yeah, you should feel like an asshole. And so the boys come in, including the one who's, like, you know, the broken wrist. He's like, my brother did that to me when I was little, so maybe I could help you with it, maybe. And kid basically goes, you know what, kid? You're all right. And they, like, and it ends happily ever after. I think. I skipped through the last bit because I'm like, I need to post. Let me give me a second. Bum, 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 bum. And some guy who I don't really remember doesn't like him anymore, so it's like, whatever. No one likes Sean. Anyway, even though I said I wasn't going to update because it's final exam week, I really didn't update because I got addicted to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. The same friend who gave me Game of Thrones, Erin, it's like her childhood. That's what she watched when she was little. That's just her show. And I was getting bored. I was procrastinating studying, and so I'm like, I'll watch an episode or two. What harm can it do? 2.5 seasons later, which equals about a week, I realized I haven't done anything but watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer for about a week and a half. It's really unhealthy, but the show is so good. But yeah, so today I'm actually trying to study and watch less Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I also need to go online and be like, I exist outside of Netflix Instant View. So yeah, I'm alive. Angel and Spike didn't get me. I wish they could. Anyway, the quicker I finish this, the quicker I can go watch Buffy and study for my biology exam. So the next chapter is about Eddard, and I'm pretty psyched for that because then I get to meet Arya and Sansa again because that's where they're at. So I will see you next week not next week, see you next time. No time guarantees here. It'll happen eventually with the next chapter from Game of Thrones Eddard. Be there.